tragic accident in Virginia where 4 men were electrocuted while setting up a tent serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers associated with overhead power lines and conductive materials. The incident involved a metal tent pole coming into contact with energized overhead lines, resulting in the electrocution of the individuals inside the tent. Understanding the principles behind this tragedy and implementing preventative measures is crucial for ensuring safety during outdoor activities. Firstly, it is essential to comprehend the nature of electricity and its behavior. The electricity always seeks a path of least resistance to ground. When a conductive object, such as a metal tent pole, bridges the gap between a power line and the ground, it creates that pathway. The human body, being conductive, can become part of this circuit if it comes into contact with the energized object. Secondly, consider the voltage levels of overhead power lines. Distribution lines, which are commonly found in residential and recreational areas, typically carry voltages ranging from 2400 volts to upwards of 34,500 volts. Transmission lines can carry voltages of 115,000 volts, 230,000 volts, 500,000 volts, or even higher. Contact with these voltages is almost always fatal. The severity of an electric shock depends on several factors, including the voltage, the current, the duration of contact, and the path the current takes through the body. Thirdly, the metal tent pole acted as a conductor, providing a pathway for the electrical current to flow. Metals like aluminum and steel are excellent conductors, meaning they readily allow electrons to move through them. When the tent pole touched the power line, the electrical potential difference between the line and the ground caused a large current to flow through the pole. Since the men were inside the tent and in contact with the pole, they became part of the circuit, resulting in electrocution. Fourthly, the lack of awareness of the overhead power lines played a significant role in this accident. Overhead power lines are often difficult to see, especially against cluttered backgrounds or in low light conditions. It is imperative to always scan the surrounding area for potential hazards before setting up any outdoor structure, including tents, canopies, and antennas. Look up and look around to identify any power lines in the vicinity and maintain a safe distance. Fifthly, the grounding concept is important. Grounding provides a low-resistance path for fault current to flow back to the source, causing the overcurrent protection device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, to trip and energize the circuit. However, in this scenario, the tent pole and the individuals inside the tent were not grounded, so there was no effective path for the fault current to trip a breaker and interrupt the flow of electricity. Sixthly, the proximity effect needs consideration. Even without direct contact, electricity can arc or jump across a small air gap, especially at high voltages. This phenomenon, known as arcing or flashover, can occur when an object gets too close to a live conductor. Maintain a safe distance from overhead power lines, which is typically 10 feet or more, depending on the voltage. Seventhly, to ensure safety around overhead power lines, several precautions should be taken. 1. Always be aware of your surroundings. Before setting up any outdoor structure, carefully inspect the area for overhead power lines and other potential hazards. 2. Maintain a safe distance. Keep yourself and all objects, including tent poles, antennas, and kites, at least 10 feet away from overhead power lines. 3. Use non-conductive materials. When possible, use tent poles and other equipment made from non-conductive materials such as fiberglass or wood. 4. Never assume power lines are insulated. Even if power lines appear to be insulated, they may not be. Always treat all power lines as if they are energized. 5. Call before you dig. Before digging any holes, call 811 to have underground utilities located and marked. 6. Stay away from downed power lines. If you see a downed power line, stay away from it and call the power company immediately. 7. Teach children about electrical safety. Children should be taught about the dangers of electricity and the importance of staying away from power lines. 8thly, in the event of contact with a power line, it is crucial to take immediate action. 1. Do not touch the person or object in contact with the power line. 2. Call 911 or the local emergency number immediately. 3. Warn others to stay away from the area. 4. If possible, use a non-conductive object, such as a wooden stick or broom handle, to move the power line away from the person or object. 5. Do not attempt to move the person or object yourself unless you are absolutely certain that the power line is no longer energized. Ninthly, the National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for electrical safety in various settings. Although the NEC primarily focuses on permanent electrical installations, some of its principles can be applied to temporary setups and outdoor activities. For example, Article 590 of the NEC covers temporary installations, which includes requirements for grounding, of a current protection, and wiring methods. Although tents are not specifically addressed in Article 590, the general principles of electrical safety still apply. Tenthly, consider the role of safety training and education. Many organizations and companies offer electrical safety training programs for employees and the general public. These programs cover topics such as hazard identification, safe work practices, and emergency procedures. Participating in these training programs can help individuals develop a better understanding of electrical safety and reduce the risk of accidents. 11. Think about the importance of regular inspections and maintenance. Electrical equipment and systems should be regularly inspected and maintained to ensure they are in good working order. This includes checking for damaged wires, loose connections, and other potential hazards. Regular maintenance can help prevent electrical accidents and extend the life of electrical equipment. 12th, consider the use of ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. GFCIs are devices that protect against electric shock by monitoring the current flowing in a circuit. If a ground fault is detected, the GFCI will quickly trip the circuit, cutting off the flow of electricity. GFCIs are commonly used in bathrooms, kitchens, and other areas where there is a risk of electric shock. 13. Think about the role of personal protective equipment, or PPE. PPE, such as rubber gloves and insulated tools, can provide an additional layer of protection against electric shock. However, PPE should only be used as a supplement to safe work practices, not as a replacement for them. 14th, the importance of following manufacturer's instructions cannot be overstated. Always read and follow the manufacturer's instructions for all electrical equipment and appliances. This includes instructions for proper installation, operation, and maintenance. Failure to follow manufacturer's instructions can lead to electrical accidents and injuries. 15th, consider the role of arc flash protection. Arc flash is a dangerous phenomenon that can occur when electrical equipment fails, resulting in a sudden release of energy in the form of heat and light. Arc flash can cause severe burns, blindness, and even death. Arc flash protection, such as flame-resistant clothing and face shields, can help protect workers from the hazards of arc flash. 16th, the need for qualified electrical workers is essential. Electrical work should only be performed by qualified and licensed electricians. Electricians have the training and experience necessary to safely install, repair, and maintain electrical systems. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper training can be dangerous and may violate local electrical codes. 17th, consider the concept of lockout-tagout, or LOTO. LOTO is a safety procedure used to prevent accidental energization of equipment during maintenance or repair. The procedure involves disconnecting the equipment from its power source and placing a lock and tag on the disconnect switch. This ensures that the equipment cannot be accidentally turned on while someone is working on it. 18th, think about the role of the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA. OSHA is a federal agency responsible for ensuring safe and healthful working conditions for workers. OSHA has established regulations and standards for electrical safety in the workplace. Employers are required to comply with these regulations to protect their employees from electrical hazards. 19th, you should also consider electrical safety audits. Electrical safety audits can help identify potential electrical hazards in a workplace. During an audit, a qualified electrical safety professional will inspect the electrical systems and equipment, review safety procedures, and interview employees. The audit results can be used to develop a plan to correct any identified hazards. 20th, remember that electrical safety is a shared responsibility. Everyone has a role to play in preventing electrical accidents. By being aware of the hazards, following safe work practices, and reporting any potential problems, you can help create a safer environment for yourself and others. 21st, the tent tragedy in Virginia serves as a summer lesson. Metal tent poles contacting overhead power lines are hazardous. Awareness and preventative measures are key. 22nd, maintain a 10-foot clearance from overhead power lines. 23rd, always inspect your surroundings for hazards. 24th, use non-conductive materials when possible. 25th, teach others about electrical safety. 26th, treat all power lines as energized. 27th, if a power line falls, stay away and call for help. 28th, remember electricity always seeks the path of least resistance. 29th, being grounded is important for safety. 30th, arcing can occur even without direct contact. 31st, do not touch anyone in contact with a power line. 32nd, call emergency services immediately if there is an electrocution. 33rd, follow manufacturer's instructions for all electrical equipment. 34th, electrical work should be done by qualified electricians. 35th, be careful around electricity. The information provided is for educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or other expert for specific guidance on electrical safety matters. Ignoring these safety principles can lead to severe injuries or even death. Prioritizing electrical safety is essential for protecting yourself and others from harm.